Okay, welcome to the last Sunday with no NFL football until February. That's that's quite a ways away, and it is finally back this Thursday. We finally have football again. I actually just before I started this video, I actually saw there was a Cowboys O line who's actually on the COVID list now, so he's gonna miss the game versus Tampa because I think you have to be. I think is the NFL is it 10 days or something like that. So we already have our first COVID case and someone missing the game. So, that shrinks the roll line again for Dallas. I am picking Tampa here. I just think that, it makes sense. There is like a 5% of me that says, Dallas is going to somehow, some way come out with a victory here. I don't know how. But I do have, a slight gut feeling that somehow, some way Dallas wins. And if they do, that's going to be a big talking point for the media and for everyone heading basically up until Sunday. But I'm sticking with Tampa. Tampa just feels right. I've seen some people say Tampa's going to hang 50 on them, 40 plus on them. I'm like, I don't see that. I see maybe 35 max. Yeah, I think probably 35 max on Dallas. Then we have Jacksonville heads to Houston. This game is a lose-lose scenario because I don't know who's going to win this. I literally just, flipped the coin in my head and like, okay, well, we're going to go with Jacksonville. This game here, Miami, New England, I did that and I just flipped the coin in my head. This, 2 games here. The Denver Giants game, I'm like, I don't even know who's going to win that one. But, this game especially, it's just like these two teams are going to be a top 10 pick. Houston might have the first pick. So we'll see. But I'm picking Jacksonville. I just feel like Trevor Lawrence will do enough. No word on Deshaun Watson yet. He's probably never going to play another snap for Houston again. We'll see if he ever plays another snap in the NFL again. But I just think Houston is... They want to try for that number 1 spot in the draft for next year already. They're already preparing for that. So then we have the Chargers head to Washington. This is going to be a good game. I talked a little bit about this yesterday when I was going over games that I thought are going to be really good. And I picked out 2 that were going to be extremely good, but there's a lot of games that are going to be very good week 1 here. And this is going to be one of them. I think Washington is going to win this. I think it's probably going to be 28-21 or 31-28 for a final. I think there's going to be points by both teams. Chargers have, I don't want to say a sleeper defense, but they have a decent to very good defense. But Washington's just, they're our top 3 defense. They're just automatically top 3 defense, and they haven't even done anything yet. So that's why I'm picking Washington. This is going to be an offensive battle, but Washington's going to figure out something in the second half and just beat the Chargers here. Then we have Seattle and Indy. Now, I have seen so far it looks like Carson Wentz will be playing for Week 1. I know he was put on the COVID list. I talked about this in my video yesterday, too. He was put on the COVID list along with an O-line member 5 days ago or something like that. Obviously, they have until next Sunday, so a full another 7 days to, test negative and whatnot. Or I think it's 2 days in a row of negative tests. But it looks like his injury is healed, or I guess his surgery is healed. His surgery went real well, it looks like. So it looks like he's going to be starting. So my pick is actually Indy. Now, I know Seattle have a good offense, but I just don't trust their defense enough. They may sneak into the playoffs, but it's going to be because of their offense. That's what it's going to be. So I'm picking Indy here to win at home against Seattle. Then we have, again, this game is not very good, but it's looked at it a different way. We have the Jets heading to Carolina. Sam Darnold versus the Jets week 1 right out of the gate. Get it out of the way. Makes sense. Carolina's going to win this. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm hoping Sam Darnold doesn't only go off for this game, goes off for the rest of the games, rest of the season, and maybe pushes them to a playoff. That would be very nice to see Carolina and Sam Darnold go to the playoffs. Then we have a terrible game. Minnesota essentially gets a bye unless they just suck. Which, as a Packers fan, go ahead and suck. Lose to Cincinnati, please. But, Minnesota heads to Cincinnati, and this is just going to be one of those games where it's just Cincinnati may put up 10, 13 points. Minnesota's going to put up like 28, and it's just going to be like that. Minnesota's never going to lose the lead. I'm saying all this and watch them actually lose. Hey, I'll take it. And it'll help for the North. But I got Minnesota here. Then we have I highlighted this game yesterday. Arizona heads to Tennessee. I had such a hard time, even for since yesterday. I've been thinking about this game, and I kept flipping Arizona, Tennessee. I kept going back and forth in my head, and it's just like I think it's going to come down to, can Derrick Henry extend the drive, keep moving the ball, getting first downs. And if they can just waste this clock with Derrick Henry, I think he's going to be the game changer here. I think he is going to essentially seal this game away for Tennessee. Now, I do think this is going to be in the 20s, maybe 24-28 or something like that. I think it's going to be a decently kind of high-scoring game. I guess 28 is kind of high. That's 4 touchdowns. So, in the NFL against a good defense, it's pretty good. I think Julio will have kind of a quiet day. He may get 100, may only get like 100 yards, and then maybe not a touchdown. Again, we'll see. But expect Julio to show up more so into the season, starting like middle season probably. My guess is they're going to grind with Derrick Henry this game. So then I have the cursor. God dang. Okay, well, the cursor is right here. But that is San Francisco heads to Detroit. Again, another sleeper game. San Francisco is just going to beat up Detroit. I don't see, unless they really changed the culture in Detroit, San Francisco is just going to mollywop them, put up, maybe they're the team that puts up 42 points or 50 points on a team. I don't think it's going to be Tampa, though. Then Pittsburgh heads to Buffalo. Not too much to say here. They played last year. I believe it was a decent game last year during COVID. Buffalo is just very good. They have a better defense than they did last year. So, if you're Kansas City, this is the team to watch out for. This is really the team to watch out for here. They're easily the second best team in the AFC. And they're above the Ravens, the Browns. Who else? Ravens, Browns. Oh, Indy. Okay. That's. I was like, there's one more. Indy. They're above those teams by at least a tier. So it's just, if you're Buffalo, you got to have higher hopes than you did last year. I think there's a good chance. If you can beat Kansas City, that you can beat anyone. Then we have another. It's gonna be a bad game this year. This one is a lose-lose situation. I have no idea who's gonna win this either. I just went with Atlanta, but I feel like Philly could pull this out somehow. I don't know how, but this game is just, it's not going to be a good game. It maybe end up being like, I don't even know, like a 14-13 game or so. Both teams are just bad. One of them is probably going to end up in the top 10. The other will probably end up with like 11 or 12. Honestly, for the draft. So I think you got to start looking at that if you're Philly or Atlanta. Honestly, I bottom of the barrel for both divisions, honestly. Then we have what is game of the week, but I haven't highlighted blue, and I guess I should talk about this real quick. So if you are new, if you have not seen me talk about or do these predictions before, basically yellow is just who I am picking to win. Green, I have a light green, which again, I didn't highlight it here because I have Cleveland in blue, but green is basically my game of the week, pick of the week for who I think is going to be the best game. It's not always what is on Fox or, is it ABC? What is it? CBS. There you go. It's not always what, Fox or CBS has where the 325 slot. It's not always that. I think sometimes there's noon games where I put where it's like, this is the game of the week here. And then blue basically means it's going to be an upset. So I'm pretty sure Kansas City is favored. again, they're coming out. They have the best odds to win the Super Bowl right now and all that. So technically, I guess I could have highlighted it like the E could be green. But this is going to be game of the week, and I am picking Cleveland to upset Kansas City in Arrowhead. I'm confident on this. Now, I'm confident, but it's only because this is going to be a very, very good game. Now, yes, Mahomes went out last year, and that's the reason why the Browns had a shot to move on to the AFC Championship game last year. But this year, I think the Browns' defense is better. I think the Browns' offense is better. Obviously, you got Nick Chubb, so you can just grind with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt in the backfield. I don't think they did that too much against Kansas City. But again, it's a high flying offense that's just going 50 yards down the field to make a catch. So you can't really run the clock down when you're down 14. But I think Cleveland, you have a better game plan. You know how the Chiefs are. You just played them back in January. Which again, it's what 8 months, 9 months. So I guess it's been a while, but they're fresh in your mind. You just lost to them in the last season. So I think it's going to be a hostile environment. Arrowhead is loud when they get that chant going. That chant is fun to hear. I'm so glad it's a 3:25 game. This could have been a night game. I would not have cared if this was the Sunday night or Monday night game. This is just going to be a very good game. But I have high hopes for the Browns. I think they will beat Kansas City. And I am locking that in as my upset of the week. So, I should say I don't always have upsets. Not every week I'll do one. But it's just if, we're in a certain week and there's a certain game, it's just like, okay, well, this team needs to win in order to, better their playoff chances. Obviously, we're in week 1. So it doesn't really help too much rather than just going 1-0 versus 0-1. But I just think it's good. This game watch out because this game is going to be very, very good. So then we have Green Bay versus New Orleans in Jacksonville, Florida. Because of a hurricane, if you have not been paying attention to the news, been on social media or anything, if you're living under a rock, this game is played in Jacksonville because there has been a hurricane going through Louisiana. And Louisiana is where New Orleans is and where the stadium is. And they lost power, and they said it could be a couple of weeks before they get power back. So they had to move it to Jacksonville. Now, I saw the story where Saints were trying to defer Packers fans from trying to go to a game because there's no direct flights from Wisconsin to Jacksonville. That's what I've heard. I don't know that to be facts, but I guess I think Milwaukee's the biggest one, biggest airport here. So I think that's true, but it looks like it's not working. It looks like there's going to be a lot of Packers fans in TIAA Stadium. That's such a mouthful. So it might not work for Saints, but I'm picking my Packers to win this. Yes, Jameis Winston is starting. Yes, it's going to be different from last year, but I just feel like when you have to go play in the heat. In the Florida heat, to be exact. This is September. Everything's still very warm, humid. Even the Saints have to play in that. So, I'm sure they were thinking, okay, well, if we go to Florida, we're going to have to deal with that heat too. But I just feel like the Packers defense is going to come out blazing. I know a lot of people just are hoping for a Super Bowl run again, and you start that 1-0, you start that beating the Saints, who I guess technically they could still be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to win the division, but they could sneak in at 5, 6, or 7 for the playoff spot. But I think a statement win here. Again, it's a bit of a different Saints team than it was last year, but I just think that Saints could potentially be a playoff team down the road. So Packers it is. Now this next game here again, as I said before, I flipped the coin in my head. I just went with Denver because I'm like I don't know. I guess I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think I'll do good. I think I'll do decent enough to get them a win. Patrick Surtain on that defense is going to be helpful as a corner. So, but you have Saquon on the other side, so it's this might be a ground and pound type game for the Giants. But we'll see. But I have Denver winning. They win this game, but they're going to win a max of 7-8 games, honestly. Giants are somehow going to be in the conversation for the winner of the East, despite only winning 8 or 9 games this year. It's going to happen. Just wait. It always does. It's the NFC least. So, but I'm going with Denver here for week 1. Again, this one, I don't know. I don't know, so I just kind of flipped and I'm like, okay, we're going to go with Denver. Then we have Miami and or heading to New England. I like Mac Jones. I think he'll do very good. I'm not sold on Miami being a playoff team yet. I'm just not. Tua might be able to do it, but it might take another year or two, honestly. I'm just not quite sold on Miami being a good team. They're a mid team right now. I do think somehow, some way, the Patriots are going to sneak into the playoffs. Now, obviously, if you can steal a win from Buffalo and you can somehow get more wins than Buffalo, then you can obviously, win a division. But I think if you at least, there's a chance you steal one, maybe in Foxborough from Buffalo, and you sneak in the playoffs. So I think they somehow, somewhere are going to be back in the playoffs if they're missing it last year. And we're going to have to live through that. Another dynasty. Hopefully not. But I am picking New England here to beat Miami week 1. Then we have the Sunday night game. Now, honestly, I was talking about this. There's better games that could have been Sunday night, but I really thought about it last night after I made the video and this morning. I'm like, it's not that bad of a Sunday night game. I think the Rams will win. I think this will be a decent game, more so defensive than offensive. It looks like Andy Dalton is starting for the Bears, so woohoo! Good job, Bears. Stafford obviously knows the Bears defense real well, as he just came from the NFC North. And now it's to play on week 1, so he's gonna be watching for Khalil Mack on the side. He's gonna have weapons now. He's gonna have a defense, so he doesn't have to carry his team to 6 or 7 wins a year. So I am picking the Rams. Rams are they have to be a top 5 pick just to go to the Super Bowl. Like they're stacked. So I'm picking them. And then we have Baltimore and the Raiders. This game is not good. It's Baltimore all the way. This is the only reason it's to show off allegiance. That's all it is. So they could honestly put that noon game and just switch. I guess switch the Chargers game. Chargers and Washington football game maybe for that. I don't know. This is just gonna be Ravens all the way. So, yeah, but it's literally only just to show off Allegiant Stadium is all they're doing here. So you could do that another week maybe with the Chiefs and just have the Chiefs on Prime TV or Prime Time. Yeah, there could have been better ways to do this than to just let's put them on Prime TV because they're just not that good. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Like the video, share the video, don't subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.